Welcome back to the Heritage Recreations YouTube channel. We've got a stunning August day. As you can see, the VR Clubsport has come out of the shed for the first time since August last year. It's going to be making its journey up to RPM at One Tree Hill for the engine to be started. Engine will then be removed, and then the car will come down to Northeast Crash Repair to have the front end repaired. So this is sort of the first installment video, and we'll give you a little bit more of an update when we get it up to One Tree Hill. But exciting times here at Heritage Recreations. Well, the car's finally made up to RPM or Phoenix Mechanical up at One Tree Hill. Tow truck arrived a few hours ago, and we've been working reasonably solidly all day with an attempt to get this car started. So the plan is that we're going to get all the peripheral stuff into the car. So we've got all the water pump, put a brand new water pump on it today. Let's see if we can find it inside there. Put a brand new water pump on it. We've got new top and bottom radiator hoses. Throttle position sensor was missing off of that throttle body, so we've got another throttle body put onto it. Pete from RPM is sort of our go-to man with how we're going to be building this car, because as described earlier, we don't really want to over-capitalise on it. So he suggested let's get the car running before it goes down to the crash repairer to get the whole front end repaired and fitted. So what we're going to do is, whilst the engine's in the car now, it's all been plumbed up. We've got some oil in it now, some water, so we will be trying to fire the car up. The moral of that story is identify if it's got any rattles in it, and you know, if the bearings are shot, or anything else that's a little bit more sinister, which means we're probably going to have to do a little bit more work on the car, because the aim is literally put a sort of compression test across it, put a new seal kit in it to make sure it's not leaking anywhere, and pretty much run it as is in the car for the time being. So we'll fire it up, or hopefully fire it up a little bit later this afternoon, and once it's fired up, we're going to be shifting through, making sure the transmission's doing what it needs to do, making sure there's no knocking noises from the car, and then shut it all down. And then what's going to happen is, probably in 3 weeks time, as long as Pete's available, then I'll head back up to the workshop here. We'll actually take the engine transmission out of the car. We'll actually put a frame in the front, so then the car can be sent down to the crash repairer to have the front end fixed. So just going through the car, I didn't have the boot open last time, so literally the boot was full of all the transcoolers and radiator condensers, and the radiator itself, headlights, tail lights, brake boosters, alternators, everything was in the boot. So we've gone through it there, and you see we've got some doubles of bits and pieces here, so we've actually gone through it now and got some level of assembly. Got the headlights and got the front guard trims in there. So yeah, we're not far off now. So once I've got the go ahead, Pete will let me know, and we'll obviously get the car ignition sorted out, try and get it started and see if it fires up, and fingers crossed. So hopefully we'll be back shortly. Well, here we go. It's now the stage where Pete's going to hopefully fire this car up. Have a few technical issues with some grounding issues. Fuel regulator had some fuel pissing everywhere, but now we've got it all sorted out, hopefully. So Pete's going to hopefully fire this thing up. First time running since we've owned it August last year. A little bit on the struggle side with some power. We have a look inside here. So that was all twisted and bent, had some fuel coming out through there. We've gone underneath and replaced. Let's get underneath the car. So we've actually put the exhaust back on it. It was in the boot of the car. We've done that so we can hear any rattles or something from the engine, just to quieten the car down so we can concentrate on what is coming from the engine bay. We actually had some dramas getting some, had some earthing problems with the car as well. And what was happening is, where the battery earth was, the bolt going in through the inside of the engine bay wasn't earthing properly, so we've now rectified that. As you can see, we've actually got a level 3 dash cluster back into the car again. It's not the one for this car, but we've put it in just to get the car fired up. So hopefully, once we've got the battery back and a little bit more power to pull from, we'll hopefully get this thing fired up. And as we said, it's the first time this car has fired up since we purchased it August last year, and I don't know when it had the front end crash, so it's been a long time since this car has roared to life. So fingers crossed we can get it started shortly. Okay, so that's a little bit of a wrap for day one with the VR Clubsport. So where do we get to? We're able to crank the car over, but unable to start it. So we think it's potentially a grounding issue with the car. We've had a look at the computer. We've gone through the distributor and see we've got a little bit of a setup going on there on top of the throttle bodies. We've changed over the ignition module. So we've had a good look to try and get it started. We've definitely got the fuel pumps working. We've got fuel coming out the top. So we've fixed all that up. So it's definitely getting fuel, but we're struggling to actually get the car started up. So I'm going to try working on the distributor tomorrow, see what happens as a result of having that checked, and fingers crossed the thing comes to life. We're running over to battery power as well, so we've got the batteries on charge for tonight, and hopefully tomorrow morning we'll be able to get everything sorted with the car and hopefully get it running. So definitely it's come a long way from what it was this morning. I'll hopefully get some pictures up of what the engine bay looked like, but it's actually starting to look a little bit more like a car now, and actually see what it's potentially going to end up like when it's all together. So exciting times for the VR Clubsport. So stay tuned. Hopefully by tomorrow we'll have it running, and that'll be the start of the engine development for the car. So yeah, I'll get another video running tomorrow and then hopefully piece it all together and showcase what this thing actually sounds like. And fingers crossed we've got no knocking noises. Okay, now we're back at RPM Mechanical. This is day 2. It's the morning. Pete's done an incredible job of actually tidying up the inside of the car. So I'm not sure if I had the video before, but it actually looks like a car now. He's done an amazing job. He's gone through and had a muck around with the engine. I reckon this is a poor contact on the distributor. So he's going to hopefully give it a bit of a fire up. We had a little bit of a kick in it before and it didn't start, and hopefully this will be the run. There we are, we have life. The 304 is running. Okay, so we just fired up the car and there was no oil pressure, which is one of two things: the oil pickup or the oil pump itself. So Pete has checked and he's satisfied it's not the oil pickup. So he's now taken the oil pump off, pulled it all apart, cleaned it all, packed it with some Vaseline, put it back on the car. So now hopefully we'll fire it up and it should have some oil pressure. So fingers crossed. There it is, the first time in who knows how long the thing started, and it sounds okay. Go back to that exhaust note. Nothing sounds better than an injected 304. How good is that? So that's the end of this latest episode with the Heritage Recreations VR Clubsport. We're pretty excited with the outcome of what happened with the engine running better than was expected. got to understand this thing's had a front end impact at some stage, and given the fact that most of the front end was missing when we purchased the car, we actually weren't too sure whether the engine would have suffered anything from the actual crash damage itself. So the fact that there aren't any crazy knocking noises is quite heartening, which means that it won't need as much attention as it could do. So hopefully, reseal kit, we're looking at putting a 276 cam in it, doing the lifters, probably some valve stem seals, and then realistically the car should be ready to go. So looking forward to the next phase, which is engine removal phase. So that will be organised in the next few weeks, hopefully. So that'll be engine out. We're probably going to be putting the car on some sort of a frame, and then it'll be heading down to Northeast Crash Repairs to have the front end repaired. And this, hopefully, is the end result of a whole heap of hard work and saving build number 461 from the scrap heap. So thanks again, guys. We'll see you around next time for the next episode of Heritage Recreations. Bye for now.